Hello, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Kerr, back here with Alex Meyer discussing SAG nomination predictions. We've already covered the film categories. Now we're about to head into the TV categories. So, what better place to start than with Best Drama Ensemble? And the nominees I have, and the exact five I have predicted in this order are, um, okay, I'm coming. Okay, the exact rankings I have are The Handmaid's Tale, This Is Us, The Americans, Westworld, and Pose.
I have the same group, but in a different order.
Okay.
So I have This Is Us winning again, followed by The Handmaid's Tale, then Westworld, The Americans, and Pose.
Okay. Well, yeah, This Is Us I could see happening again, especially if the backlash from the second season, The Handmaid's Tale, still carries on to this year. Although, I mean, again, granted, there still is probably an IOU to that show, given it was shut out SAG last year, well, in terms of wins.
Well, I just think the backlash may affect it winning overall as an ensemble, especially with how they treat some characters in regards to others. Plus, This Is Us, it's still going pretty strong. It still has people hooked, and just when you think they can't possibly throw in any more crazy plot twists, they do, especially after their mid-season finale, which I obviously won't spoil, but it's one of those like shockers you don't see coming, especially when you think you've seen everything by now.
That's true.
So that could maybe possibly help put it over the top again.
Well, we shall see. Or granted, maybe if
Plus we've seen a lot of shows win this category year after year without winning anything else. Like Downton Abbey pretty much always did that.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. Not to mention Stranger Things won this award 2 years ago without winning anything else.
So,
and I was about to say that, if Pose gets nominated, I wonder if that could be a spoiler. I mean, it's diverse cast. It features transgenders. Could you see, if it gets nominated, could you see there being some rooting factor around it?
Possibly, but I think it doesn't seem to have the same kind of like buzz and like water cooler appeal that, like, say, Orange is the New Black had in its first season, because when that show came out, like, it seemed like everyone was talking about it and everyone was obsessed with it. And Pose, while it certainly has its fans, it doesn't seem to be the kind of show that like everyone and their mother has seen, whereas Orange is the New Black was that type of show.
That's true. I guess you could also make that case for This Is Us and Stranger Things.
Yeah, I mean, because those shows, those two shows again are like those shows that everyone talks about, everyone and their mother has seen, and that they still draw in pretty big numbers, and they've kind of become these pop culture phenomenons. Whereas Pose seems to be the respected but not necessarily universally adored type of show. So, I think its diverse casting alone will help it get in here, and the fact that it's a Ryan Murphy show will help it get in here, but I don't know if enough people have really seen it for it to actually win.
Oh, okay. But so, in a case, the combined users and editors at Gold Derby, their overall rankings predictions for this category are The Handmaid's Tale, This Is Us, Westworld, The Americans, and Better Call Saul.
Well, we shall see. But Better Call Saul, it's been off the. Well, it had its new season a couple months ago, but it was quite a while before it did, and we'll have to see if voters are getting tired of it or not.
Well, okay, so now on to the next category, which is Best Actor in a Drama Series. So, Alex, read off your rankings.
All right. I kept changing a lot of things before I finally settled on my top 5, and I have Matthew Rhys, The Americans; Milo Ventimiglia, This Is Us; Jeffrey Wright, Westworld; Bob Odenkirk, Better Call Saul; and Jason Bateman, Ozark.
Oh, yeah. I guess Jason Bateman's a possibility. he got in multiple times at the Emmys this past year. He just got in at the Globes again, and I guess I could see Jason Bateman making the cut again. And as for me, I have my lineup right now includes it includes it has Matthew Rhys, Milo Ventimiglia, Jeffrey Wright, Bob Odenkirk, and Sterling K. Brown for This Is Us.
Yeah. I originally had Sterling K. Brown in, but then I took him out and replaced him with Jason Bateman just because I figured, well, when Sterling K. Brown won for This Is Us, it was when the show was focusing mainly on him and his journey, and now it's kind of shifted to Milo Ventimiglia's Jack and his journey, particularly with how Jack dies and and his time fighting in the Vietnam War. So I think that could help him gain more momentum than Sterling Brown.
Well, that is why I have Milo ranked higher than Sterling, but I at least have. I mean, I do notice that. In fact, I will say that Sterling in the overall rankings, I won't reveal them all right now, but interesting enough, the overall users and editors of Gold Derby have him ranked in second place.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I had him originally in I think third place, but then I was moving stuff around because I wasn't sure how I wasn't sure like if they felt he had still had enough momentum or not. But I mean, he could very well still get in because, like I said before, this is a hard category for me to pick because I mean, Jeffrey Wright's gotten a lot more momentum for Westworld now that he's pretty much the lead, I guess you could say. And they've always loved Bob Odenkirk for Better Call Saul, so I'm gonna always predict him until the SAGs don't nominate him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
and
Well, yeah. Not to mention there's the SAGs. While they have supporting acting categories on the film side, they do not on the TV side. It's all combined lead and supporting.
right, which is partly why I also put Jeffrey Wright in here as well because I know he originally started out in supporting at the Emmys before moving to lead.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So so why do you have Jason Bateman getting in?
Well, I mean, he was nominated here last year, and he's managed to be nominated at the Emmys and the Golden Globes. So clearly, people are still watching the show, and he seems to be the one people gravitate to the most. I mean, I know Laura Linney was nominated here last year as well, and maybe she might still get in, but I'm not necessarily predicting her this time around, mainly because of two people who I feel the SAGs will nominate. One because of one person never being nominated before, and the other for being in the last season of her show. But we'll get to that in a minute.
Yes. Well, yes. Especially despite guess things you brought up before of how Jason Bateman, he was obviously working with Jeffrey Tambor on Arrested Development, and of course, you in the past underestimated Bateman because look, he just did not think voters were going to rally around him given his associations with Jeffrey Tambor in the past.
But I guess because Jeffrey Tambor has nothing to do with Ozark, they felt comfortable nominating him there.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I guess now onto the overall rankings, predicted rankings on Gold Derby. They are Matthew Rhys, Sterling K. Brown, Bob Odenkirk, Jason Bateman, and Milo Ventimiglia.
All right, so now on to drama actress.
Mm-hmm. And so my predicted rankings are Sandra Oh, Killing Eve, Sandra Oh, Killing Eve, Elizabeth Moss, The Handmaid's Tale, Robin Wright, House of Cards, Kerry Russell, The Americans, and Tandy Newton, Westworld.
All right. Well, I have the same 5 ladies, but in a very different lineup. I think with Claire Foy out of the way, I have Elizabeth Moss winning. I think they'll give it to her here to make it up to her for not winning last year.
Mm-hmm.
But then, although of course we'll have to see what the actual lineup is. But if Sandra Oh should win at the Golden Globes, then I may be tempted to predict her to win here as well. But we'll see what happens there. Then I have Sandra Oh in second place, Tandy Newton in third, Kerry Russell in fourth, and Robin Wright in fifth.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I guess there's a good reason to have Tandy Newton ranked higher, given her surprise win at the Emmys, so that probably helps.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I only have Robin Wright ranked last just because the reaction to the final season of House of Cards was pretty mixed. But I feel they may just give her a nomination just as kind of like a thank you to her for continuing on with the show for one more season without Kevin Spacey.
Well, yes, as well as the fact that, as we talked about in the Globes, that, she was the one who really rallied everyone together after once his accusations took off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Although with the Americans, we'll see if it actually gets in or not, because it's never gotten nominated for any of its past seasons, and maybe its final season could bring it some momentum, but it's going to be tough though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Yes, and that's for Gold Derby's predicted lineup. They have Sandra Oh, Elizabeth Moss, Tandy Newton, Kerry Russell, and Julia Roberts for Homecoming.
Yeah. I would have put Julia Roberts in there if House of Cards didn't drop its final season as when it did. Like if they had waited until like next year to drop it, then I probably would have put Julia Roberts in here. But
Mm.
also I kind of left her out just because SAG is notorious for snubbing shows in their first season and then not really showing them any love until like their second.
Yeah, which I guess now makes a good segue for the next category, which is Best Comedy Ensemble. And there was a certain show that was not nominated there last year, but this year I think will get in. Yes. And so, okay. And so for Best Comedy Ensemble, I believe it's your turn to read off first. Is it that right?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
So I have The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Atlanta, Barry, Glow, and The Good Place.
Ooh. Okay, so I have the top. Well, okay, so as for my rankings, I have. Okay, they are The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Barry, Atlanta, Glow, and Orange is the New Black.
Hmm. All right. Well, I think, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, it probably has a good chance here because its second season just dropped a few days ago and it wasn't nominated here in its first season, and it's coming off its Emmy win, so I think it's still riding the high wave, although I have Atlanta in second place over Barry, mainly because it wasn't nominated at all for its first season, and many thought its second season was even better than its first, especially with their Teddy Perkins episode.
Mm-hmm.
And then, given that Donald Glover, even though he won the Emmy for the first season, he surprisingly lost to Bill Hader for the second. So, and given
That's a
that
good
the
point.
ensemble is a diverse ensemble of mostly black actors, if they want to give an award if they want to include diversity in the award, that could certainly help Atlanta's chances here, especially given that The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, while maybe the most acclaimed show, its cast is still predominantly white.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Although, and then Barry, I think I have in the middle just because of its Emmy success, and then Glow, because it was here before, and again with its diverse ensemble of both women and people of color, and
And a
then
large one at that.
mhm. But I ultimately decided to take Orange is the New Black out. Well, I didn't even put it in here in the first place, mainly because I think it seems the show has lost some momentum. I mean, especially at the Emmys. I mean, I know it keeps getting nominated here. Maybe it'll get one more nomination next year for its last season, but it seems a lot feel that the show isn't as good as it was in its first few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it may not have necessarily jumped the shark, but there doesn't seem to be as much love for the show anymore.
Hmm.
Whereas The Good Place, a lot of acclaim and has a very devoted following, and even if its cast isn't as big as Orange is the New Black, it's still a pretty diverse cast, which could be a big for it here.
I guess that is a good point. So, getting to Gold Derby's overall combined predictions, they are Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Atlanta, Glow, Barry, and Orange is the New Black.
Well, we shall see. But given how The Good Place broke out at the Globes earlier this year, I think we're going to see the same thing for SAG as well.
I will say, semi-spoiler alert, I do have it getting into one of the individual acting categories coming up. So I guess now moving on to Best Comedy Actor. Now, yes, it's my turn. Then the lineup I have is William H. Macy, Shameless, Bill Hader, Barry, Donald Glover, Atlanta, Ted Danson, The Good Place, and Henry Winkler, Barry.
I have the same 5, but very different order. I think William H. Macy will lose this time because I think, especially since some of the other cast members have already left the show or will be leaving the show. So I have Bill Hader in first place, then Donald Glover in second, then William H. Macy, then Henry Winkler, and then finally I have Ted Danson for The Good Place.
Okay. Well, yes. I mean, I guess I could see. Well, because even though we've obviously underestimated William H. Macy for the win the last 2 years, I guess I could see his winning streak stopping this year, especially with Bill Hader. You know, he's playing an ex-con turned actor in Barry, and Donald Glover. Well, and I mean, again, I guess I could see those two possibly canceling each other out, and William H. Macy sneaking in again.
Or we could possibly see Henry Winkler continue his winning streak. Like if he won the Emmy, if he wins at the Golden Globes, they could possibly reward him here because he's the most legendary figure out of these predicted contenders, with Ted Danson in a close second in terms of legends.
Well, true. Although, if Bill Hader and Henry Winkler both make the cut, could you see them canceling each other out?
Possibly, but I don't think it will happen just because, I think Shameless is kind of losing momentum just because it's like its 9th season now, which is big for like a Showtime series. They don't really go on that long, and 2 of its main cast members, Emmy Rossum and Cameron Monaghan, have left the show now, and they're main characters. They're 2 of William H. Macy's characters' kids, because Shameless doesn't really seem to have a set end date like a lot of these shows seem to. It's just going on and on until they decide it doesn't have strong enough ratings anymore, I guess, kind of like with The Walking Dead over on AMC.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they may feel, since he's already won this award 3 times, they may feel he's been rewarded enough by now.
Yeah, though sometimes when they like you, they really like you. So, yeah. Now, on to Gold Derby's overall rankings. Okay. They have Bill Hader, William H. Macy, Donald Glover, Ted Danson, and Henry Winkler.
All right. Okay, and next up, we have the TV comedy actress.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then it's my turn now to do the rankings, and I have Rachel Brosnahan, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Alex Borstein, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Glow, Lily Tomlin, Grace and Frankie, and Kristen Bell, The Good Place.
Ooh, okay. So I'm probably gonna have to do some playing around here, and okay. I mean, this is kind of tough. I mean, I do have a. Okay, so I guess here's where I'm settling. Okay, I have Rachel Brosnahan, Alison Brie, Lily Tomlin, Alex Borstein, Marvelous, and Uzo Duba, Orange is the New Black.
I mean, Uzo Aduba, she'd probably be my 6th place slot if there was one, but like I said before, I just think Orange is the New Black has been losing momentum gradually, and I think The Good Place has just been steadily gaining gradually, which is why I think it's going to make a big splash here this year.
Oh yeah, yeah, I could see that happening.
So yeah.
So now on to Gold Derby's overall rankings. They are Rachel Brosnahan, Lily Tomlin, Allison Brie, Alex Borstein, and Uzo Duba.
Mhm. Yeah, I guess I have Alex Borstein a lot higher just because of her Emmy win and because she and Rachel Brosnahan, their characters interact with each other all the time on that show since she's technically Rachel Brosnahan's manager on the show.
Yeah.
Whereas, and then yeah, and then the other three, I just have there because of their of their likelihood of winning based on their show. Because I have Kristen Bell in last place just because I don't know how well the Good Place will do here, but I'm willing to bet it might do well. And with Allison Brie and Lily Tomlin, I don't really see either of them winning, which is why I have them in the middle. Although maybe we could possibly see maybe Jane Fonda gets the fifth slot instead because we have seen both her and Lily Tomlin get nominated here together.
That's true. I did have actually, in fact, I actually had that happening at one point until I guess until well, not too long ago, which is actually a few minutes ago. Took Jane Fonda out of my predictions.
Hmm. But who'd you replace her with?
I Alex Borstein.
Hmm. All right.
Uh, so now on to I guess now on to a TV movie, best actor in a TV movie or miniseries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the lineup I have there is Darren Criss, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, Benedict Cumberbatch, Patrick Melrose, Jeff Daniels, The Looming Tower, Hugh Grant, A Very English Scandal, and Benicio del Toro, Escape at Dannemora.
Wow, I have a very different lineup.
Wow,
Uh,
okay.
so I have Aaron Chris for Assassination of Gianni Versace, Hugh Grant, A Very English Scandal, Benicio del Toro, Escape at Dannemora, Jonah Hill, Maniac, and then Anthony Hopkins, King Lear.
Oh, well, yeah, those last two I could definitely see happening.
Mainly because SAG voters love themselves some Shakespeare, especially on the TV side. Like we saw The Hollow Crown get nominated here a couple of times for their Shakespeare productions.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess possible.
And I know Patrick Stewart got nominated here a couple of years ago for his TV movie version of Macbeth.
Hmm. Yeah, I guess. Oh, yeah. Again, it's possible. Although I'm not sure who I'd. Well, I did just move Jeff Daniels and Benedict Cumberbatch down to the last two spots. So I'm not sure if I'm willing to take who, if well, how I'd be willing to take at least one of them out to put in an Anthony Hopkins or Jonah Hill, or even in Antonio Banderas for Genius Picasso. I mean, he got in at the Emmys, he got in at the Globes. He could just get in here again.
Mm-hmm. But they do like a lot of big name figures to be in here, and Anthony Hopkins is one of those big name figures. And
Hmm.
maybe, although I don't know how well this is going to bode for him, but maybe that could also possibly extend. And again, this is a long shot to maybe Al Pacino for Paterno.
Oh yeah, that's also possible, especially to make it up to him after his Emmy snub.
And Globe snub as well.
Well, yes, but Emmy was much more shocking.
Right. But I have Maniac in here just because even if the Globe shut it out across the board, I could still see it getting in elsewhere, like here and at the Critics' Choice Awards.
Huh.
So,
Well,
and
well.
plus Jonah Hill has had some extra visibility this year thanks to his directorial debut mid 90s, even though he only directed it. He didn't actually appear in the film as an actor, but I mean, the film has been like played at all the various film festivals, so it's been a film that's been talked about.
Hmm. Okay, so I guess now. Oh yeah. This are Gold Derby's rankings. They have Darren Criss, Benedict Cumberbatch, Hugh Grant, Jeff Daniels, and Benicio del Toro.
Hmm. Well, with these categories, you got to be careful because it seems every year, like when I try to get too close to Gold Derby's predictions, I end up getting like half of them wrong, which is why I'm doing like, well, at least in the actor category, I'm doing a lot of bolder picks. Whereas with the actress category, I have some more safer choices, but I have one choice who might be tricky to get in because she was technically supported. Our status will help her here.
Well, again, these TV acting categories at SAG are all catch-all. So, and now I guess now moving on to a Best Actress in a miniseries or TV movie, your rankings are.
All right, I have Amy Adams, Sharp Object, Stone, Maniac, Patricia Arquette, Escape at Dannemora, Penelope Cruz, The Assassination of Gianni Versace, and Laura Dern for The Tale.
Okay, I have some of the same, but this is tricky because my lineup right now is Amy Adams, Penelope Cruz, Assassination of Gianni Versace, Regina King, Laura Dern, and Emma Stone.
Yeah. Yeah. If there were separate lead versus supporting categories, I'd probably put Regina King in here. But given that 7 Seconds hasn't really gained any other nominations besides her performance, and given that she seems like a safe bet to win on the film side for If Beale Street Could Talk, they may feel she doesn't need to be nominated or awarded here. And plus,
Well, yeah, I guess it would be interesting seeing, at the Globes, Amy Adams and Regina King are head to head in two of the same categories, and it'd be interesting if at SAG, Amy Adams is head to head with Emma Stone in two of the same categories.
yeah. Yeah.
So I guess on to Gold Derby's overall rankings, they have Amy Adams, Laura Dern, Emma Stone, Regina King, and Emma Thompson for King Lear.
Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to put Emma Thompson in here, but I just wasn't sure who I should take out, just because like all these women seem to have a strong chance of getting in, and I can't really think of who's the most vulnerable. Although I do have Laura Dern in fifth place, mainly because The Tale hasn't been getting as much awards attention as many people thought it would. It's been getting a lot of attention for her performance, but of course it vastly underperformed both at the Emmys and the Golden Globes. So
Well, I'm not sure if I was expected to do well at the Golden Globes either.
right, but I'm just saying it only got 2 Emmy nominations, whereas people were expecting it to get nominated like across the board for everything, like
Mm-hmm.
writing, directing, and all the other
And
technical.
Ellen Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn, as well as possibly Jason Ritter as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and yes, and yet, despite its underperformance, some people were still predicting Laura Dern to win, like you. Well, I and some other people, like Andrew Cardin, were predicting Michelle Dockery. Yet we were all fooled, and Regina King swiped in and took it.
Yeah. Um, yeah. So I can't really think of anyone else who could possibly crack the top five here. Uh, I mean, maybe besides Regina King, possibly, and or maybe Florence Pugh for The Little Drummer Girl. Although, given that it was based off a John le Carre novel, which is where The Night Manager also came from, but it hasn't really gotten much momentum, so I don't really see that happening.
Yeah. So, or even Patricia Clarkson for Sharp Objects.
Possibly, or even that new actress Eliza Scanlon, I think her name is. Maybe she might get a surprise nomination, but we'll have to see.
Okay, so I guess this just about covers all the categories at SAG. So, if so, to anyone watching this, well, I guess good luck with your predictions, and we'll see who does. Well, I guess we'll see if anyone here. Well, hopefully, we all do the best we can with our predictions as we find out nominations Wednesday morning.
Mm-hmm. It'll also be interesting to see what will win the stunt ensemble this year, because this will be the first time I think ever that Game of Thrones will not be eligible.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I guess maybe something like The Walking Dead or Westworld could win it this year.
Hmm. I'm just trying to think what else besides those two will be nominated. Probably Jack Ryan, I bet, will probably be nominated. Maybe even that could win.
Hmm. Yeah,
Uh,
so or could you see The Handmaid's still getting in?
uh, possibly, but they don't really for this category. It seems like stunts that are done in almost every episode usually gets nominated here, and more subtle stunt work doesn't.
Okay, so in any case, so again, to everyone, anyone who's watching this right now, I guess again, good luck to you on your predictions.
All right.